The synthetic scent billowing from your dryer vent right now contains a designated human carcinogen that is completely legal to hide from you. It is not on the ingredient list, it was never safety tested for long-term skin contact, and it is currently trapped inside the woven fibers of your bed sheets. This chemical, known as 1,4-dioxane, is an invisible manufacturing byproduct of the very process used to make your laundry detergent bubbly and soft. You are sleeping in it, breathing it, and wearing it every single day without your consent. By trace-level detection, your clean clothes are actually coated in a persistent layer of industrial petrochemicals. To understand how this happens, you have to look closely at the physical structure of modern fabrics and the mechanical process of your washing machine. Standard laundry detergents do not simply rinse away. They are designed to leave behind a chemical residue that masks odors and artificially softens fabric. During the spin cycle, as water is forced out of the drum, synthetic surfactants and fragrance compounds are pressed deep into the microscopic pores of cotton, polyester, and nylon threads. When you place these clothes into a high-heat dryer, you are effectively baking these chemicals directly into the fibers, sealing them in place. The next time you wear that garment, your body heat and sweat reactivate these trapped residues, allowing them to migrate through your skin barrier and enter your bloodstream. The industry relies on a massive regulatory blind spot to keep this process hidden from you. To make cheap, harsh cleaning agents less irritating to human skin, chemical manufacturers subject them to a process called ethoxylation. This involves reacting the base chemicals with ethylene oxide, a highly reactive and hazardous gas. While this process successfully softens the detergent, it triggers an unintended side reaction that generates 1,4-dioxane as a persistent contaminant. Because this toxic compound is classified as an unwanted byproduct rather than an intentionally added ingredient, consumer protection laws do not require companies to list it on their packaging. To make matters worse, the very scents used to make your clothes smell like fresh rain or spring flowers are protected under trade secret laws. A single word like fragrance on a bottle can legally mask a cocktail of hundreds of undisclosed synthetic chemicals, including endocrine-disrupting phthalates, neurotoxic solvents, and synthetic musks. Your skin is drinking it. This is not a theoretical hazard. The physical reality of how these chemicals interact with your body is documented in rigorous scientific literature. In 2011, Dr. Ann Steinemann published a landmark study in the Journal of Air Quality, Atmosphere and Health. Her team analyzed the chemical emissions coming directly from residential dryer vents during active wash and dry cycles using top-selling scented liquid laundry detergents and dryer sheets. The results were staggering. The study identified more than 20 volatile organic compounds emanating from the vents, including hazardous air pollutants like acetaldehyde and benzene, which the Environmental Protection Agency classifies as known human carcinogens with no safe level of exposure. When you inhale these fumes from your dryer vent, or when you breathe in the scent rising from your freshly washed shirt, you are taking these volatile compounds directly into your lungs. From your lungs, they cross immediately into your capillary network, bypassing the filtration systems of your liver and kidneys. To visualize how these molecules behave, imagine coating your hands in a thin layer of industrial motor oil, washing them with basic water, and then putting on a pair of tight rubber gloves. The heat and moisture inside those gloves would cause the oil to soften, open your pores, and allow the heavy compounds to penetrate deep into your skin layers. This is precisely what happens when you wear clothing washed in conventional detergents. Modern activewear and synthetic clothing are essentially forms of plastic derived from petroleum. Petroleum-based detergents have a natural chemical affinity for petroleum-based fabrics. They do not want to separate. Instead of rinsing clean, the detergent molecules cling to the synthetic fibers, creating a permanent chemical matrix that sits directly against your warm, perspiring skin for 16 hours a day. The long-term physiological cost of this continuous exposure is quiet, slow, and devastating. 1,4-dioxane is highly soluble in water and does not easily break down inside the human body or the environment. Once it crosses your dermal barrier, it distributes rapidly throughout your organs. In 2001, a toxicological study led by Black and colleagues, published in the Journal of Food and Chemical Toxicology, examined the exact rate of dermal absorption of 1,4-dioxane in human skin models. They discovered that while some of the volatile chemical evaporates into the air around you, a significant and measurable percentage penetrates the stratum corneum, the skin's protective outer layer, within minutes of contact. This absorbed portion enters systemic circulation, where it primarily targets your liver and kidneys. The clinical evidence linking chronic low-dose exposure to 1,4-dioxane with organ damage and cellular mutation is so robust that the National Toxicology Program classifies it as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen, while the World Health Organization categorizes it as a Group 2B carcinogen. How many plastic jugs with bright blue lids are sitting on the shelf in your laundry room right now? The gap between what toxicologists know and what consumer goods companies disclose is vast, protected by millions of dollars in industry lobbying. When regulatory agencies suggest setting strict limits on manufacturing contaminants, the industry argues that the traces left on your clothing are too small to cause immediate harm. But this argument completely ignores the reality of bioaccumulation and daily repeated exposure. You do not wear clean clothes once a year. You wear them every single second of your life. You sleep on sheets treated with these chemicals for 8 hours a night. You dry your face with towels saturated in them. When a company boasts that their product is dermatologically tested, they do not mean it is safe. They simply mean they monitored how long it took to cause an obvious chemical burn on a patch of shaved skin. They do not track what happens to your cells when those same chemicals sit on your body for 3 decades. Consider the regulatory failure of our current environmental laws. The Toxic Substances Control Act, originally passed in 1976, grandfathered in tens of thousands of industrial chemicals without requiring any safety testing whatsoever. Under these outdated rules, a chemical is presumed safe until the government can definitively prove it causes harm, a process that can take decades of litigation and academic struggle. In the meantime, municipal water systems across the country are discovering high levels of 1,4-dioxane in public drinking water. Why? Because every time millions of households run their washing machines, these non-biodegradable byproducts wash down the drain, pass straight through standard wastewater treatment facilities, and cycle back into the local aquifer. You are quite literally drinking the downstream runoff of your neighbor's laundry detergent. Think about that silence the next time you press a fresh washcloth to your child's face. You do not have to accept this passive poisoning of your home environment. You can dismantle this chemical exposure pathway today by making 3 deliberate, scientifically grounded changes to your daily routine. First, you must learn to read the chemical signatures hidden on the back of the bottle. Since manufacturers are not required to list 1,4-dioxane, you must look for the ingredients that produce it. Turn your laundry bottles around and search the ingredient deck for words containing the letters ETH. This is the telltale linguistic marker of the ethoxylation process. Avoid sodium laureth sulfate, laureth 7, cetiareth, polyethylene glycol, PEG 8, and polysorbate 20. If you see these ingredients, you can be virtually certain that 1,4-dioxane is present as an undisclosed contaminant inside that liquid. Instead, seek out products that use simple, non-ethoxylated plant surfactants like cocoa glucoside or decyl glucoside. Second, you must change how you physically wash your clothes to break the cycle of chemical buildup. High-temperature wash cycles and synthetic fabric softeners work together to lock petrochemical residues into the weave of your garments. Stop using commercial fabric softeners and single-use dryer sheets immediately. These products do not clean your clothes. They deposit a thin layer of synthetic fat and silicone polymers over the fibers to make them feel soft, trapping the toxic detergent residues beneath a waterproof seal. Instead, wash your laundry in cold water and add 1 cup of distilled white vinegar to the fabric softener dispenser of your machine. The natural acetic acid in the vinegar safely breaks down the alkaline surfactant residues, strips away the accumulated wax-like buildup from previous washes, and naturally softens the fabric without leaving any chemical residue or synthetic scent behind. Third, you must actively transition your household to verified clean concentrates. Do not trust generic claims of green, natural, or eco-friendly, as these terms have no legal definition and are routinely used for deceptive marketing. Look for detergents that are explicitly certified by independent third-party laboratories. Seek out the Environmental Working Group's verified seal, or look for companies that publish independent, batch-tested laboratory reports showing non-detectable levels of 1,4-dioxane down to parts per billion. Transition your wardrobe away from synthetic polyester, nylon, and acrylic blends, which act as physical sponges for these lipophilic chemicals, and choose organic cotton, linen, and hemp. These natural fibers release trapped substances much more readily during a wash cycle and do not hold on to synthetic scents. Making these changes requires a fundamental shift in how you perceive your home and your sensory environment. For your entire life, you have been conditioned by multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns to associate a heavy, perfume-like scent with cleanliness. You have been taught that if a shirt does not smell like artificial lavender or synthetic pine, it is not truly clean. This is a dangerous sensory illusion. Clean is not a smell. Clean is the absolute absence of smell. When you walk into a grocery store, you will no longer see aisles of colorful plastic jugs as a selection of domestic helpers. You will see them as shelves of unlabeled chemical mixtures, formulated to exploit regulatory loopholes at the expense of your family's health. You will look at the white plume of steam rising from your neighbor's dryer vent not as a cozy sign of home life, but as a local emission of hazardous air pollutants. This realization is your protection. Once you understand the physical and chemical reality of what you bring across your threshold, you gain complete control over your domestic environment. You are no longer a passive consumer relying on the self-regulated safety claims of a multi-billion-dollar industry. You are an investigator, protecting the biological integrity of your home, one conscious choice at a time. The hidden pathways of daily exposure do not end in your laundry room. The very same regulatory loopholes that allow toxic manufacturing byproducts to coat your clothing are currently protecting ingredients inside another everyday household necessity you use multiple times a day. This silent exposure is even more direct, even more deeply integrated into your daily habits, and even more fiercely defended by the chemical lobby. The files are open, the evidence is mounting, and the next investigation will change everything you thought was safe. Stay close.